For decades, conspiracy theories have questioned humanity's presence on the moon. Now, after more than 50 years, NASA is preparing to put those doubts to rest, once and for all.
Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
Under the Artemis program, the American Space Agency, NASA, is returning to the lunar neighborhood, marking a historic new chapter in human space exploration. Following the legendary Apollo missions, the Artemis program represents humanity's renewed journey back to the moon, this time with long-term exploration in mind. The journey began with Artemis I, an uncrewed moon-orbiting mission that launched successfully on November 16, 2022. That mission tested the Orion Spacecraft and Space Launch System, SLS, in deep space, paving the way for the return of astronauts. Now, in 2026, NASA is set to launch Artemis II, the first crewed moon mission since Apollo 17 in 1972. This mission will mark the first time humans travel beyond low Earth orbit in over half a century. NASA's Artemis II is currently targeted for launch on February 6, 2026, from Launch Complex 39B at the Kennedy Space Center. The launch is planned for 9:41 p.m. Eastern Time, beginning a 10-day journey through deep space. If all goes as planned, the Orion spacecraft will safely return to Earth, splashing down in the Pacific Ocean on February 15, 2026. To ensure mission success, NASA has identified 16 launch windows between February and April, carefully chosen to align Earth, the Moon, and favorable weather conditions, allowing Orion to follow the safest and most precise trajectory possible. It's important to note that Artemis II is not a moon landing mission. Instead, the crew will perform a lunar flyby, orbiting the moon before returning to Earth, testing critical systems in real deep space conditions. The 4 astronauts aboard Artemis II are Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, representing NASA, and Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency. Together, they will validate Orion's life support systems, navigation, communication capabilities, and overall human operations in the Moon's environment, capabilities essential for future missions. The primary objective of Artemis II is clear: to prove that humans can safely travel, operate, and return from the lunar vicinity, laying the foundation for Artemis III, which aims to land astronauts on the Moon once again. Through the Artemis missions, NASA seeks not only to re-establish a sustained human presence on the Moon, but also to test technologies, partnerships, and strategies that will one day carry humanity even farther toward Mars and beyond. If everything goes according to plan, on February 6, 2026, at exactly 9:41 p.m. Eastern Time, the countdown will hit 0, and the most powerful human-rated rocket ever built will lift off from Earth. Just 2 minutes and 8 seconds after launch, the 2 solid rocket boosters, having provided nearly 75% of the total thrust, will separate, leaving only the core stage to continue powering the Orion spacecraft toward low Earth orbit. At 3 minutes and 28 seconds into the flight, the launch abort system will be jettisoned, marking another major milestone as the Orion spacecraft on Artemis II moves one step closer to its destination. 8 minutes and 18 seconds after liftoff, the core stage will complete its roll and separate from Orion, falling back into the Pacific Ocean. At the same time, the Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, or ICPS, will ignite, providing Orion with its final push into space. After 2 burns, the ICPS will place Orion into a high elliptical Earth orbit. This orbit has a perigee of approximately 115 miles and an apogee of nearly 46,000 miles. During this 24-hour orbit, the crew will test critical Orion systems, including life support and communications, and practice manual control to ensure the spacecraft can be safely operated in emergency situations. On the first day itself, Orion will separate from the ICPS and begin docking practice maneuvers. Although there will be no actual spacecraft to dock with on Artemis II, the crew will rehearse approach, alignment, and retreat procedures, skills essential for future missions involving the Lunar Gateway. Manual controls, automated systems, sensors, and cameras will all be tested. After completing these tests, as Orion passes close to Earth once again, it will perform the translunar injection burn, beginning its 4-day journey toward the Moon on a free return trajectory. During the lunar flyby, the astronauts will come within approximately 4,600 miles of the lunar surface. Following 1 day near the Moon, Orion will begin its 4-day return journey to Earth. 10 days after launch, the Orion spacecraft will separate from the European Service Module, re-enter Earth's atmosphere, and splash down safely in the Pacific Ocean, bringing Artemis II to a successful conclusion. The return to the Moon is no longer a question of if. It's a matter of when.